There's so much to say, and I don't want to lose any of the good stuff in our behind the scenes talk.
Mm.
Our untucked.
Right.
Or untucked. Condone
Con-
yourself untucked.
Right.
Yeah.
Condone yourself unhinged.
Welcome back to Condone Yourself, Season 3, where we're here to talk about Season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race. We are in the third week, and surprise, it's Snatch Game.
Super early.
Supersized Snatch Game.
Double your pleasure, double your disappointment.
That has so many meanings given how this episode ended. So we have OT,
What's up, people?
we have Kelly,
Hey, everybody.
and we have me, Joe.
So the only thing I'll say about just kind of before we get into the snatch, because that was pretty much in the runway,
entire
was
episode.
the episode. But the one thing, and we were kind of talking about this just a minute ago, is that weird like back and forth between Lucy and Lux about who was second and who was third. Just like, this is so dumb, but also what it does is like, I just do not like Lucy's attitude. She's becoming my villain of the season, and like I think OT, what you were saying is super hard to root for.
Yeah, she's not likable because oddly enough, and I said this in the first episode, right? And I hate to keep like ragging on this queen, but this queen, like, you had all of these qualities on both of your seasons, and they were problematic both times. She gives me that Jan energy, right? I said that about Selena Estides, but that's because Selena is always very up, right?
Yeah.
Selena is always at 100, like Jan was always at 100. But that was actually not a dislikable quality about Jan. It was kind of annoying in the same way it's annoying about Selena. But this, like, hyper competitive, I have to win, I have to be the judge's favorite, like that quality that Jan also had is what we're seeing in Lucy right now, and it's really unappealing as a viewer, especially considering her drag is super high quality. She has proven that she's a really smart, fun, and funny competitor, and yet I'm still not rooting for her.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for her at all, and I actually prefer Jan over Lucy.
Wow, that is a huge. If you all knew how big that statement is,
it's big, and it's for everything you're talking about, OT.
Mhm.
I wish when Jan was competing, I wish she had the polish that Lucy did to match her like ego or expectation. But Jan just seemed nicer.
Exactly.
She seemed like she was just hard on herself, but not trying to project that onto what everyone else is seeing. Lucy, I was like, why are you getting in a fight with a baby queen over who's second or third when the judges didn't even say who's second or third? It doesn't matter. Did you win? Did you get the money? No. It doesn't matter.
And Lux has also made it very clear from day one that she is 100% delusional, right? Like she says she lives in her ego and she fuels it all by herself. So when she goes into these little tirade, right, let her be. You're not going to pull her out of it. You're only going to force her to double down, which she did.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, she's been doing drag for what, 2 years? Lux has.
Yeah.
That's it's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen in this little tit for tat. You've been doing drag for 22 years. It doesn't need to be proven.
Right. And like the proof is in the pudding, right? Like she's only been doing it this long. She's on the world's biggest stage. Every week that she's there, it's only fueling her delusion more, right? And not to say that it's complete delusion, because the girl is good.
You've been doing good.
Yeah, she's been doing good, but ultimately, that was silly, and it only made Lucy look bad.
Yeah. It's funny because with like Lucy, the word that was coming to mind was like, I like a humble queen. And it's funny because drag queens in personality are not humble, which is why we like them, right? Like they are like, I'm the bad bitch, I'm whatever, but that's a persona. So then when you drop the persona, when you're interacting with like other human beings, just like in the workroom or like day to day, then I want to see some of like that. And I have problems with queens that like are still just as bitchy and awful like in real life.
Yeah.
I know she doesn't see herself as like, coming across that way. It is just the nature of the competition is bringing that side out of Lucy. And it is unfortunate because it's tainting kind of like her win for me. And that like I don't care. I still don't want you to win at this point, And I almost wanted. I was like, oh gosh, wouldn't it be great if Mistress won? And I just see her like be on an episode of Snatch, be like, I deserve this. So
right.
All right, well, let's just get into all this. We'll do the runway and talk about their characters at the same time.
Perfect. So let's begin with Mother Ru. I'm just gonna say this was a miss for me. She looks like a laundry bag that's tattered.
You look like my couch after my cat claws at it.
Yeah,
you know what she looks like? A beautiful nightmare, which is the category for
Marsha, Joe.
No. I love her, but I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, if this was Selena as titties, I feel like I would like this better. But because this is Marsha,
stop giving Selena passes.
Because this is Marsha, like, why can't she follow instructions? Why can't she do better makeup? Why can't she talk to other people and do something? This is boring as fuck. And Marsha is not boring.
I think Ru laid down the ultimate warning, which is you need to drag that shit up. And it's probably like the last thing that Ru will say about that. But it's clear that she is very lackluster in the garment department. It's not.
I mean, next week is a sewing challenge.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, girl.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this will be the moment where Marsha comes out, because unlike Lucy LaDuca, I actually can root for Marsha. She's fun, she's interesting, she's quirky, but her clothes very much look off the rack.
Although what wasn't, her Tim Gunn was incredible.
Superb.
Right.
I've never even seen Tim Gunn. I don't know who he is. I've heard of him, but I don't know a lot about him.
Girl, what?
She was funny. She was
what?
funny.
You've never heard of Tim Gunn?
I said I've heard of Tim Gunn. I just don't know Tim Gunn. I've heard of Tim Gunn. I know he's on that runway show.
She killed it.
Yeah, she was hilarious. Like she made me want to know Tim Gunn, which is the assignment.
She did really well. She had his isms and rhythm of how he speaks, and she just needed Tim Gunn on this outfit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And she did a perfect job of like interjecting and saying little things to the other queens at the right moment.
Yes.
Like the thing about the devil's in the raw edge when
and Ru was confused, and then she pointed out those sleeves. I lost it.
Yeah.
Lost it. It was
Selena was looking all confused, like what?
Yes. Because Selena's taste level, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But
at least she has a taste level.
Yes. Great job on the Snatch Game, Marsha. Runway, not so much.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, Luxe Noir London.
I thought this look, the top part is horrifying. So I thought she did a really good job. I liked how it told a story. I know that the judges or somebody was saying zombie, but like the fact that she was a wife that got like thrown into the water, like drowned, the whole thing was great. The only thing that threw me off was like, I wish the legs would have matched the arms. That was the only thing that was like, dang, if the legs would have been that same kind of like water, dead, pale, bluish, whatever color, I would have been like, this is amazing. But I thought, because a lot of people did like spiders and stuff, I just thought this was a more original take on the beautiful nightmare.
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. I stand for Lux, as you have continued to see every week. I cheer for Lux. I am into this whole thing. I loved her Amanda Lepore. I thought it was on point. It was very true to Amanda Lepore as a character, especially that opening line where she was like, "I was talking with my other
That
lip."
was great.
Like, she was bombastic. It was interesting. And even the one joke that kind of sort of landed off a bit was still good, and it was still true to like what I know of Amanda Lepore. So I thought Lux did a really, really standout job. Not great enough to be in the top 3, but still great.
Yeah, you could tell who was
She
going to
was
be.
4th.
Yeah, you could tell who was going to be safe because they only got like one line in Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Lux in Snatch Game. I don't think she was 4th place though. I would say she's definitely middle of the road, but it was good. She did not annoy me, and there's a lot of queens that annoyed me on Snatch Game. But I love this look, and Kelly, I agree with you. I didn't understand how the top part looked like it was dying, but the legs were still alive with the brick on the leg. I ultimately love this look, and I'm happy it wasn't more arachnids because I really don't like spiders.
Yeah.
All right. So Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. And I called this, right? I said this is gonna be a gown queen, right? She's gonna give us gowns, and you've given us a gown every week,
Not
but
next
it's the
week, though.
same gown
Not next week,
and
though.
in the same hair, right? Like it's repetitive, it's uninteresting. I almost always know what you're gonna look like when you turn the corner. I'm bored,
Yeah.
Malaysia,
I
and
do.
it's too early to be bored.
I think her face in this one was amazing.
Her makeup skills are gorgeous.
Yeah. So I thought that was great, but I'm with you. It didn't give me as much, like, compared to what we just saw, you know, where you're like, that's a nightmare. This one, the face a little bit nightmarish, but overall it's too pretty.
Yeah. I'm glad the runway was sped up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't need to linger on this one. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Sure.
That is truth.
Bored by now.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but we've seen it every time you've walked the entire series at this point.
And the
Snatch Game,
Saucy Santana, she looked spot on. Like,
oh yeah,
looked really good. But Saucy Santana, she was not. It was pretty much like
she was saucy. It was watered down.
Yeah, it was pretty much like Trinity playing Whitney Houston. Looked really very much like Whitney Houston, but could not deliver a Whitney Houston Snatch Game.
Yeah,
you know,
it was not okay.
It was bad, and she's lucky that there are so many queens doing Snatch Game, or she would have been in the bottom.
Yes,
she's lucky there were so many who were so bad.
Yeah,
like but boisterously bad. Like for me, I kind of treat Snatch Game or even this competition like Project Runway, which apparently OT has never watched. Things that are like boring are immediately in the bottom.
Yeah.
Like if I have no reaction to what you did, good or bad, you're gone. And Malaysia was in the bottom for me, and she knew it. And I'm really glad I saw the Untucked because she admitted and she broke down a little bit. That makes me root for her a little bit more, but I am bored.
Next. All right, Joe. Mistress Isabel Brooks. And I spelled your name correctly this week.
Good. It's really looks really good. I'm loving Mistress Isabel more and more. I love this look. It spidery, but it's a little like glammed up a little bit. But when she said that it's typical for people to eat 6 spiders while they sleep for throughout the year, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's you never knew that. Yeah.
Because your mouth is open like when you're breathing or snoring and they crawl in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wearing a mask. No way. That just creeps me out.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I hate spiders. But
clearly.
but I love this look, and I loved her snatch game. Whoever she really was, Rosie O'Donnell or Abby Lee Miller.
It was a weird combination of the two.
It worked.
I did not love this look, and I did not love it because it didn't read when she turned the corner. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get that she was a spider. I didn't get that she was a spider hatching. I didn't understand what was going on, and then when she described it, it still didn't quite work for me. So I did not I thought the look was beautiful, right? I think this is pretty, like Joe said. I think it's kind of avant-garde and it's interesting, but ultimately I think, like, it's George's, right? It's beautiful, but she missed the assignment for me. But her snatch game was like fan pop. It was all of it. Like, she knew exactly what to say, exactly when to say it. She played the game with real finesse. She didn't overstep anybody. She wasn't taking up too much space. Like, that was a masterclass in how to play the snatch game. Like, it was
And
perfection.
especially when Selena was like Kegels and she's like, now we're talking. It's just like dumb shit like that
Right.
like where you just inject a little bit. You don't to get a laugh, you don't have to like talk way over everybody.
Mhm.
Just a quick, you got to be quick though. Like that's
Yes.
you can't take a step or you've missed your in, right? I didn't like this either. I thought I didn't get it really either, Uchi, and it's kind of like messy a little bit. I agree about the makeup, like the judges said. Snatch Game was also messy, similar to this outfit, but in a good way. Like it was just, I'm like, her accent was going all over the place. I did appreciate like how the brashness of kind of Rosie O'Donnell, right? Where it's just like, I don't give a fuck attitude, which was great. But I think this was said by the judges, it's like, that doesn't matter for a snatch game. Like it doesn't matter if you're 100% like nailing the impersonation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? It's just like, can you make us laugh and can you really like be quick-witted? And she nailed it. So
Yes.
Yeah. Rue just wants someone to play with. She wants
exactly.
someone to volley. And if
Yeah.
you can't do that, then
Yep.
you're in the bottom. You're a contender.
Yep.
Yeah. Next is Anitra.
Compared to Anitra's other looks, this one isn't not in my top. And again, I guess like when you turned around, you got because was she a spider too?
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yes.
Yeah.
A widow spider.
I could not think of what it's called. A black widow spider.
Whoa.
Willow.
Spider.
She's not a big spider. She's a widow spider.
It just didn't. This one didn't do it for me, and I again didn't. And not that I need to immediately get spider, but like even when she turned around, I still was like, I don't quite know what you're going for here. Maybe I give this a middle C.
I thought the outfit was cute. I thought it was the sexiest of the spiders. I thought it read spider, like I immediately got it when she walked out. I saw the fingers, I saw the red. I immediately got what she was supposed to be without it being costumey or confusing, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was okay. It was okay. That's it. That's all I got. It was okay.
Yeah, I like this look. Yeah.
And then she did Gorgina Ramsey.
That was so stupid. I loved it.
And that's not a real person, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
It's not.
I mean,
And that's why it was stupid and it was fun because especially like right off the bat, she let us know what we were in for when she's like, I'm Gordon Ramsay's sister. And Rue's like, oh, where are you from? And then she goes, Nevada. Right? Like that was so funny. It was so funny.
Well, and because the character was so stupid, it made Rue laugh whenever she got to her because she was like Gorgina Ramsey, you know.
I felt like Rue was struggling with that name though.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she just kept laughing every time she got ready to say it because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was just she couldn't get it out because it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, good job, Snatch Game wise, and good job, Runway. Like you were good and good.
Yeah, a safe.
Yeah,
she's a strong queen.
Yeah. Next up is Selena Estides.
I get. Go ahead, OD.
Selena, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.
Now, here's what I'll say. I can't think of, since we have been watching this show since season 6 or 7 or whatever, there's usually queens that are like, man, their fashion is questionable, or like you really miss one week. She is missing horribly every week, like consistently the worst fashion on the run. Like it's very worrying. She just doesn't have it. I keep waiting, you know, sometimes you're like, okay, she's gonna surprise us. She did that horrible lamppost situation last week. Maybe that was a one-off. No, it's not. It's so bad.
Her taste level is so off for what we have become accustomed to on this show.
How did she make it?
Because she's actually a really good queen. She's funny.
Sure.
She has a great attitude. But because I mean, think about it. Every week, what we are really critiquing is her fashion, right? We haven't really gotten into like her being
I'm gonna critique her snatch game.
Terrible, you know, and even I don't even think her snatch game was terrible. I think she has some good moments and she has some moments that didn't work, but her fashion is consistently terrible, and it's just not at the level of the other queens in this.
It doesn't have to be. She is trying to grow her brand, her career. Her fashion doesn't have to be like Lux. Her fashion doesn't even have to be like Lucy LaDuca or the twins, right? This is on brand for her. I'm expecting a hot mess every time she gets on the stage. And I am really starting to love it. When she came out and you just saw rubber titties and she's like, zombie titties, bitch. I died for like 2 minutes. I missed like the other 3 runways because I just can't, like, zombie titties, bitch. I am just falling in love with how she approaches things, and it's not pretty to the eye, but I am entertained, and I love it. I thank you, but she does need to like tweak some things. I love the snatch game. I thought it was a genius idea to do Mary, and she started off really well until she got the whole pregnant thing, and that was grossly too much.
Yeah.
But it started off very smart.
Yeah, and she looked really pretty as the Virgin Mary. And I agree. It was just like classic case of like a queen trying to do too much in Snatch Game, and you have to. There's only been a few times I think like when people have taken over. I think maybe Eureka did that, right? Where it's like a queen just like takes over and it's funny. A lot of times it's awkward. And this was just awkward and not landing.
I think what you all are talking about as far as her Snatch Game performance is the inability to trust herself, right? She didn't realize that she was being funny. And because she didn't really get a sense that she was being funny, she kept trying to amp it up to make herself seem funny. But she had already found the pocket immediately. Every one of them started strong. Every single person in that first group, like their opening line, they were all funny in the first group. All of their opening lines were funny.
You remember Saucy Santana, right?
Yeah, I thought Malaysia's opening line was still funny. I thought it still worked. Whereas in the second group, there were a couple people who I just was like deadpan, like, oh no, this is a terrible beginning for you. So Joe, Robin.
Shrug. I'm getting very bored with Robin.
Yeah.
Her last name is Fierce. Haven't seen it outside of what she looks like, and I love that she's beautiful. But will I go pay to see her at a like drag brunch or even out at the club? No, until she shows me like what am I paying to see?
Yeah, there's still a few people. I don't know how many queens we have now that I'm just like
13.
I forget about, and she's
Oh, and
forgettable.
I don't know what her character was, a Real Housewife or whatever. I don't usually watch that type of reality, which is why I didn't look at the WeHo show. But she spelled ham hock wrong.
I laughed so hard at that because I don't think that was on purpose, and it was cracking me up.
And no one called it out. She spelled ham hock wrong. She spelled it like hawk, the bird. And I was like, what? I had to do a double take. I was like, what the hell is going on?
She's clearly not actually from the South then.
Yes. I was like, she's from Connecticut.
Yeah.
She is from Connecticut. So I'm very underwhelmed. And if I was choosing who would be in the bottom for Snatch Game, she would have been a very strong contender.
Again, the queens that were very boring and didn't have any good jokes really lucked out this time with Snatch Game because people bombed so bad and so loudly. People bomb so loudly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's just they're being safe because they're being quiet.
Yeah.
And that's how they survived the last challenge.
Yeah.
You know, the acting challenge. They were so quiet or they didn't have many lines, but their faces were still the same, still blank, you know, lights on, but nobody's home. I
will say this was my favorite spider outfit. I like this outfit, and I think she is, of course, gorgeous, but I thought this was cool. This was my favorite spider of the spiders.
I hated this outfit so much. Oh my god.
We're like different levels. You know, Kelly likes the outfit, favorite of the spiders. I'm mad about it. And OT's like, I loathed it.
I hate it. As soon as she came out, I was just like, fast forward. Next.
Okay, so now we're into group 2. Starting with Lucy
LaDuca. And her 2 faces.
Seems right. Yeah, kind of like what we pointed out earlier. It's funny when you start to not like a queen because it makes you mad when they're doing really well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
You're like, God damn it, they really killed it this week. And I mean, I think we all kind of were thinking based on that Dolly Parton that she would be really good at Snatch Game. If that was like her not main really good character, then, you know, she probably had something else in the bag, which she did with the Joan Rivers. I like this look. I got the Jason reference. I like how she lined up the eyes on the right side. I thought it was pretty. And that Joan Rivers was amazing. Like, that is how you do Snatch Game. And it was so funny and so fast. Like, she was like so fast with the jokes, and knew exactly when to like steal a joke. And she was in a group that allowed a lot for that. Because if you're the whip smart queen among that group, you can insert so many good jokes because the other queens in the front row especially were just bumbling along and like tripping over their lines. She was like 1,000 words, you asshole. Like you've got to be fast again to like get that in the right timing. But you know, she really would have shown, I think, out of the top queens of this group in Snatch, but like especially among that group, it was really easy for her to like be funny.
Yeah.
I must commend her Joan Rivers. I think that will go down in history as, I will safely say, one of the top 10 performances of all time, but I will smugly say one of the top 5 of all time. Like, that Joan Rivers was superb, phenomenal.
That's not the first time someone's done Joan Rivers, right?
I cannot recall. If I'm being honest, I can't recall. But I can tell you, even if it is, no one's ever done it that well. No one's done it that well. It was phenomenal. I loved a lot of this look. I loved the coutureness of it. I love the fit. I love the color. I love the distress, destroyed aspect. I kind of wish she just would have gone into like a vampiric Elvira, maybe even Morticia Adams kind of idea with it, because the Jason Voorhees mask just, it didn't work for me.
She didn't tell me this was Jason Voorhees. I was thinking she was like, spray painting or something, like had like a frock and she was like painting and she just had a mask to cover like her face. I could tell this was a good look, but I just don't really care. Snatch Game was great. I laughed. And for me to laugh when I don't necessarily care for you, that's a strong feat. So very well done, Lucy.
Exactly.
I may go to a show.
Yeah. You're not as bad as Daya was last season, but you are slowly but surely working your way there.
You're teetering.
And that is not a place you want to be.
Yeah.
All right. Sasha Colby in this outfit. I'm so sick of her. I am. This is phenomenal. And it just looks so good on her body. And when she walked, and I loved this. I loved it. Snatch Game was good. I thought that it was funny in the right places. I wondered if she could have inserted herself a little more. I thought she had some missed opportunities, but overall, great night for her.
Yeah, whatever the complete opposite end of the spectrum is from Selena, that's what Sasha is. It's like there's two different ends of the spectrum on the runway.
And they're friends too. They know each other.
Yeah, and these two perfectly fit on both ends. And this was gorgeous. I mean, she turned the corner and I'm like, this is stunning. And it's stunning, but still like nightmarish, like still the assignment for sure. I don't know I got enough to know that character, but I don't know who Jan Crouch is. But I thought it was a fun choice for her. And yeah, I thought she did good. Sasha's amazing. I thought this was a good week for her.
Yeah, I thought it was good. The outfits just phenomenal.
Stupid.
The Snatch Game was in the middle of the road.
Yep.
I thought she handled herself well. But I'm here for her runways, and I'm just like, everything else is like icing on the cake. And she hasn't disappointed me yet from what I'm expecting. I'm in love with Sasha right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. Sasha, condone yourself loves you.
Yes.
Jax, another photo that has a weird thing. I think
at least now she looks cinched.
Was this supposed to be Voldemort or Medusa?
I think it was some weird combination that doesn't work.
I didn't get it. This was just pick a lane. If you're gonna do Medusa, lean into Medusa.
Right. If you're gonna do Voldemort, lean into Voldemort.
Right. This was bad. This was bad. And then you just kind of like wrapped a sash around and called
it a bodysuit. Yeah, but the bodysuit is sickening though. The bodysuit is snatched on that body. Snatch Game though.
The Snatch Game, this is what I'll say. This is a super smart choice because she literally didn't have to do anything, and I already thought it was hilarious. Because just her face in that painting, every time she made like a funny face, it just was so stupid that it worked for me. And like when she did like give us the smile, and she just kind of was like and then stuck her tongue out, like it was so dumb. This is a smart choice where you're just playing on the visuals alone.
Very smart.
Yep. And so I thought it worked. I mean, it had me giggling the whole time.
Same. I thought it was a brilliant idea. It was all physical comedy and it was all in the face.
Yep.
And that's all she really needed. And I thought it was a brilliant choice. I thought she executed it really well. Like she played a really smart Snatch Game. She was probably like 7th out of 14.
Yeah, she was middle of the road. She didn't irritate me as much as the bottom row of
that bottom row.
Yeah, except for Amethyst. I still don't think Jax is going to have much to offer. No. I think she's just waiting for a performance challenge to get back in the top, but I think that's all she's got.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm just hoping that some of these queens have their, I call it the Naomi Smalls moment. And I think a couple of them have that in there. I think Amethyst has that in there. I still believe in Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. I think that there, like, something has to happen and it's going to spark her creative juices. I hope.
All Stars.
Yeah.
I think I'm serious. It's not going to happen in these weeks that they're filming the show. No. It's going to be All Stars. It's just not. It's not going to happen. And Jax, I feel, has only done well in things that have been prepared. But most of the competition is unprepared, improv, all that stuff. Jax is not going to do well there.
I'm just sad because all these queens that we're complaining about are the black.
I know. I said the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm calling, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, we call a fair game here at Condone Yourself.
That's right.
And the thing is, we're rooting for these queens, right? We want to see you do better.
You have to be better because this whole industry favors
white queens.
Yeah. And so if you're not coming to the table with,
if you're not Latrice Royale,
you're not like close to like that, even that level of like personality or showing your brand, then it's not going to work for you, unfortunately.
And I think that's what it is. Like, to me, this is the weakest batch of black queens to ever be on this show.
Yeah, outside of Lux.
Ever.
Lux is giving exactly what I want, what I need. She's a contender. I have hope for her. I see the potential.
And she's from Jersey.
And well, there you go. It must be because she's from Jersey.
Yeah.
Yes. The only good things come from Jersey.
That's true.
There you go.
Well,
but apparently not Connecticut.
Yeah, not Connecticut.
Woo. Okay, all right. Sorry. Amethyst I like from Connecticut. That's
it. So anything else about Jax? Nope. Sugar.
Okay, so I'll start here. This is ugly. So I guess it fits the category. This outfit is ugly. It looks like a costume, just a costume.
Yeah,
it's ugly.
Like from Party City.
Yeah, it looks like her and Spice got a BOGO deal.
BOGO, yep.
I just really, it's just too much, and it's starting to become expected here.
Yep.
And the Snatch game, I had no idea who that was, and I don't want to know who that was.
Yeah,
that's it.
I did like the makeup and the eyeballs. I do think dolls are very creepy for sure. So I thought that was a great nightmare choice because like baby dolls are creepy. And but this outfit just did not, other than the face, I did not like the rest of it.
Hold on, pause. Baby doll. Why didn't Malaysia do a baby doll? It's in the name, girl. She could have done a creepy baby doll.
She had to wear her gown.
Yeah, now. Okay, never mind.
Baby dolls don't wear gowns, so
baby dolls don't. Yeah.
I thought she looked stunning. I love this outfit. Sugar. I thought she looked stunning here, but I also agree with almost everything you said except Party City.
Wait. Okay. Sorry, I just need to like figure out the level of stunning you mean, because
I love this color palette.
You said that Sasha was stunning.
I love the
is this
makeup.
Like equal to Sasha?
No, this is not equal to Sasha, but it's still stunning. I think the makeup looks great. I think the hair looks great. I love this color palette on her. The dress is right. It fits great. But you're right. It does look like a costume. So I will give you that. I didn't immediately see that, but once you said it, it made perfect sense. It does look like a costume. It does look like something you can buy at a store, not necessarily Party City, maybe something a little higher end, maybe Target, right? But still, I get it. But I thought she looked really pretty, especially like you said, Kelly. I thought the makeup was really, really good. That snatch game, I don't even want to talk about it. It was terrible. It was unprofessional. It was messy. It was problematic. You deserve to be in the bottom.
Yeah. And it's like she tried to keep inserting jokes and inserting herself, and it was awful. It just kept going very bad for her. And she learned very quickly that like you are not like she was not fast enough on her feet. And in a group with Joan Rivers, you aren't gonna get very far with that, right? Like if you try to tell a joke and it's awful and someone else steals it and makes it way funnier, that's not a good sign. It's not a good
Right. Yeah, that I don't, and like Joe, I don't know who Trisha Paytas is,
No,
and I don't care
I don't
anymore.
care.
Like the exact opposite of Tim Gunn. Like I heard of Tim Gunn. I never paid very much attention to him, but after watching Marsha's performance, I'm like, I need to go watch like footage of Tim Gunn.
Yeah.
He looks hilarious.
Yeah.
Next up is a Spice. Now this outfit, I hate it. It's a mess to me. It's unattractive, it's unappealing, it doesn't look good on her body to me. It literally basically looks like a French maid's costume.
Yeah.
It
Sexy maid Halloween costume.
barely sexy made. I didn't like it. I thought nothing good about it. I did enjoy, well, I'm looking at it now. I kind of enjoy the hair, just because of the coloring, but that's it. I don't have any. And that Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus is a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. Miley Cyrus has been on RuPaul's Drag Race. So the likelihood is Miley Cyrus is going to see your performance. Study Miley Cyrus better than that. Because if is Miley Cyrus bombastic and boisterous and loud and in your face? Yes. But is she stupid? No. And you played her like she was some sort of imbecile.
Yeah.
And that's not who Miley Cyrus is. And that's what made it unfunny.
It's like she played her like she was like Elmer Fudd or I don't know, like someone from
She played her as if she was Spice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also, it's not as even like the in person. The accent was all wrong. The voice was all wrong. The yuck yuck yuck. That's all wrong. It was just so bad, and it's not very often. Like sometimes it's like, okay, this is just bad because you're falling flat or whatever, and the comedy is bad. But this was like, yeah, like you said, OT, almost verging on like this is offensive to Miley Cyrus. Like if I was Miley, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? That's not even close. And then tried to like draw the jokes out, and drawing out a bad joke is like makes me cringe so hard. And that mallet thing, I was just like, get it off my screen now. I don't know what that was, and I don't know which Miley she's been watching all of these years, but doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. And then she tried to say like I was born to be Miley for Snatch Game. And it was
she looked like Miley. That part is true, but that's where it ended.
She did the worst, and I think she did the worst because I know who Miley is.
Yeah.
I don't know who oh damn, I already forgot the girl's name.
Trisha Paytas.
Yeah, that one. I don't know who that person is. So that's probably why I found it so like appalling. And this look, you know, I don't mind it, but coming right after Sugars, it's just like, oh, you know, it's just like it's similar, but just different colors and more skin. I get it, Spice is edgy, you know. But
it's
not edgy. What I feel like was a missed opportunity, because I love that they like to be dolls, but there are like scary looking dolls too. She could have been like a Cabbage Patch Kid Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Don't-
garbage pail kids,
Garbage pail.
because those freaked the hell out of me as a kid. Just looking at the cards, she could have done that, or been like a ball headed baby doll with like spikes, like from like that Toy Story, the first
Or
Toy Story.
imagine if one of them came out on a tricycle and like
Yeah.
wheeled down the runway on a creepy tricycle, like slowly, and then got up and like see.
Yeah, that would have worked. Like they could have brought the doll a little bit further. There's so many different types of dolls.
It was they did bad this week.
Yeah.
lots of misses.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, not finally.
Oh, but
Amethyst.
I will say, with the elimination of one of the twins, now they have double the drag.
Yep, because she didn't take almost anything. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Amethyst.
Did she say this was supposed to be Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Boo.
Am I missing was there something in Lady Gaga like that Lady Gaga did that is kind of like this, or I miss a reference? What?
I think it was from a music video.
Boo.
Yeah. I don't know what you're booing for. I loved everything that Amethyst did. I mean, I think she can, like, she needs ascension pad, of course, but for being in the bottom twice in a row, she is still bringing like her personality. Is not showing in like her action or like her performance. And this was more interesting than all them damn spiders we were looking at. This was a show. This was a performance.
It was a show. I wish that the outfit was better. And maybe it matches the music video. Like I said, I don't get the reference, but I was very surprised by like the blood and like it looks like a cut and down her chest. Yeah. And I thought that was cool. I thought that
was very cool.
Yeah.
It was interesting. She's making a statement. She's from Connecticut, but she's one of these ones you're going to remember. And I loved her snatch game. I wanted her to be in the top over Marsha's dumbass outfit.
But Marsha's Tim Gunn was too good.
It was good, but they told her about her makeup and her lack of drag multiple times. I wouldn't have been mad with Amethyst, and I'm a Marsha fan. Okay, but I really loved the trajectory or what Amethyst showed this week, and I wanted to see her in the top.
I don't know who Tan Mom is, but that's an instant. Do you know OT?
Yes, also someone from New Jersey. So
okay, is it like a reality star or just like okay?
Yes.
But I didn't care because I was like, I get it, and like this is funny, and I will give her extra props because sitting in between Sugar and Spice, she could have very much got drowned out by that, but she did not. She like held her own, and she was consistently funny. And in fact, I think she had one of my favorite jokes of the night, which was about Ross, and she was like, "He's 100% my son."
My son. And so like her comedic timing, like she's finally coming into what she's been promising. And I love this. I love this episode for Amethyst.
Yeah, it was a good redemption this week. Even though I know OT you didn't like this runway, but like overall, much better this week from her.
Overall, I applaud her. Right. Overall,
you just booed her, girl.
I booed this outfit. Overall, I thought her performance in Snatch Game was definitely great. I think she was in the top 5. I thought that Tan Mom was great. Her comedic timing was there, like you already talked about. The jokes were funny. Even when she got interrupted and came back and finished her joke, it was still funny, which that could have really made the joke flatline, but it still worked. So it was great to see Amethyst doing well. And I think I said her name right for the first time. Yes. But another one that I'm rooting for. I do not know why I like Amethyst so much, but I do.
Same.
And there is a star quality there. Like whatever the it factor is, Amethyst has it.
Yeah.
And Amethyst just hasn't figured out how to bring it forward. But I think when she does, we are looking at top 4.
Yeah.
Like Amethyst really, really has something special.
And she's gonna have a good story if she can get there.
Yeah.
And
This outfit is not special though.
My feeling towards Amethyst is very similar, even though they're not at all the same. Very similar to how I felt when I first saw Lady Camden. You know, you just see like there's something there. I'm intrigued. I want to see more. And then when they actually start doing, you're like, yes, this is it. This is it. So
yeah.
I a spark for Amethyst. Let's go, Maxie. Let's go Amethyst. I'm very excited to see what comes.
Yeah, I am too. This was the first time you have disappointed me on the runway. And
Also,
and that's okay.
Special shout out to Carson for saying this is a period costume.
I know.
Okay, Aura Mayori.
I thought it was ugly. It was super plain in the front. When she turned around, I was like, okay. The wig was cute. Her makeup is cute. I'm over her. Yeah. I wanted it to be her and Spice so bad because I thought Spice could beat her in a lip sync. And so
I wanted that tight ass dress.
Yeah, and I wanted it to be her versus Spice.
Same.
Just because I'm over Aura, like completely over her. Like she would have to do something so spectacular to get me back on her team at this point.
It's not gonna happen, girl.
Yeah. No. And I'm not even talking about her snatch game because it's not worth my time.
This could have been cool, but it was not realistic. It's like she slapped that on top of the dress, but I could see like if you had like a torn dress where you just peeked, like you could see just a little bit like the spine and blood underneath it would be so much more dramatic and like cool. This was like I put on a crafty thing on the back of my back of my dress. It was not the best. Yeah, and the snatch game was just like not great. I don't know who that person is. She didn't tell one joke that I liked. It was not good. And then again, tried to do like a song which don't take up the time, don't take up the air if it's not funny, because you're just making yourself look bad.
I don't mind this outfit. I thought it was good and for Aura. Yeah. But I was like, how are you gonna lip sync in that? I was so sure she was gonna lip sync against Spice. And I was watching it with a few others, and everyone's like, no, the twins are gonna lip sync. I was like, no, not yet. It needs to be Aura. She needs to get out of here. She's not gonna do anything. And lo and behold, everybody else was right. So
I would be so happy. I'd be so happy if they just cut like 4 or 5 people next week. You know, just like get rid of. There's some people that just need to go.
But sadly, that would be the diversity of the cast.
Yeah. The weakest queens this season, with Lux as the lone exception, are all of the POCs.
Mm-hmm.
So the top were Marsha, Mistress, and Lucy.
Lucy wins justifiably in every single manner,
unfortunately. And then
now she's gonna hear her confessional next week. I deserve to.
Yeah, it's gonna be insufferable.
You know when I'm really gonna I'm just like waiting for it, and I need to get all the patience I can muster is for the Rusical.
Yeah,
she's gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah. I can feel it.
Yeah, and she's a singer.
Yeah, well,
get loose, baby, get loose.
We haven't heard it yet, girl. I'm not convinced.
Get loose.
So we kind of knew that Sugar and Spice would be pitted against each other at some point.
Someone said that last week.
We were talking about it a little bit before, and I guess I didn't see Untucked, but apparently they had made some pact that they were gonna either go home together or stay together, or what were they saying?
Yeah, so basically Untucked was actually really solid this week. And I know we don't normally make that a part of the show, but I'm glad we are today. So they basically had decided that either they were going to do so well it was going to be a double Shantae, or they were both going to leave. and it sounds kind of like arrogant and rude, but there was such a deep sincerity in the way it was presented and how they discussed, like, they have always only had each other
Yeah.
and they've always relied on each other. And for the first time, they actually opened up about their family, and they talked about how their parents and their grandparents are terrible to them. They don't accept them. They said they're not even allowed to say sugar and spice in their house. They said they've overheard their parents saying horrible things about them to other people, including their grandparents. Their parents have said horrible things to them. They've called them an embarrassment. They've asked them what's wrong with them. Like, it's just watching that Untucked gave you a real glimpse into why they interact with each other the way that they interact. And it was really, really sad, and it was authentic.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm the first person to complain about the workroom and Untucked tears. We get too much of that, but it was really, really authentic, and it ingratiated all of the other queens to them. And I think even a couple of queens said, wow, I wish you would have told us this sort of stuff sooner, because now it makes me understand why you all interact the way you interact, why a lot of your behavior makes a lot more sense. So
they could have also taken the time to, talk to them versus like shun them out as well.
Yeah.
that part, especially because you're older.
You're
Yeah,
older.
they prejudged them from the beginning.
Everyone has a story, including you. So, just because you perceive someone some way does not mean that's truly them.
Yeah.
But I will say, going back to the twins, they're a duo. They're a duo. Like, they are not meant to perform solo. That's just not their brand. It's not, and you could see it in this lip sync. They started off a little bit doing their own thing, but immediately went to like partnering up and doing. And I think someone said like they had to choreograph. They didn't choreograph anything. They're just in sync with each other. Yeah, they just performed together. I would watch them. I would go to a performance where they were together. I think they shouldn't go away from that. Just keep doing your duo thing. I don't know. I'm interested to see how Spice does solo. I don't know how that's going to work without her support system, and just like she plays off of Sugar so much as part of who she is for drag.
I think her relationship with Mistress is going to get stronger because, we're hearing that, Mistress is now their drag mother,
Yeah.
And so that's good. That's positive because I love.
And Sasha also said that to Sugar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sasha said to Sugar, like, you have a drag mom now.
Yeah.
Like, I love you and I'm here for you. She said
that they need a drag family. They need to feel like they're not in this alone.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad they have this show. Sugar's gonna be just fine. And it is because like her and Spice are like people already know the twins. Like, she's going to have a lot of longevity, more so than even the fourth queen that gets eliminated.
Yeah.
May it please be Aura.
I think Spice wins because better facial expressions, like we talked about during that other challenge, right? Where she
was first challenge like three or four times. If it was canned, Sugar picked the wrong part.
Yeah.
Because it just looked messy and she was rolling around the stage and we was like, what's happening? And Spice was the only one who was upright and doing the whole song and not looking sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the twins. I agree with everything you all have already put out there. It will be interesting to see what Spice allows herself to be open to without Sugar, and if she clings on to someone else because that is what she's accustomed to, or if she really begins to find her own voice. Because in Untucked, that was one of the things that Sugar pointed out, is that she said, for the first time, I feel free. She said, I've never had the opportunity to explore myself without Spice, and now we finally have that opportunity. She said, she was like, even though it's scary, it's liberating. So I think, if Spice takes that same attitude and leans in to her liberation, like we're gonna see something different than we've seen already, right? We'll see something new, and hopefully it's as exciting as what we've already seen, because I think they're both exciting.
Let's hope she can sew.
That part, I think they can. I'm almost certain that they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they are make it work queens.
Yeah.
You know, and scrappy, and hearing about their whole life story makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I think they can sew, because I'm like, who makes those outfits for you if your family, if you already don't have a drag family, your family doesn't
Party
support you, so
City.
your mother.
They're made in China.
Oh God, condudes and condone moment.
We're just kidding. Love you, twins. Can do is bring back those Snatch Game judges.
I actually
the view of them in the Speedos, and let me tell you that
Asif, no, he is my Kundu. Back off.
Mine too.
Nope.
Wait, we all agree. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even.
Asif boy,
I'm not even attracted to, like, I don't sleep with men, for the record.
Right. Kelly's a straight man.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him. I don't remember him being ambi. I would have remembered him.
His face looks familiar.
Oh my!
I don't know how, but
he's gorgeous.
That boy is something, and
gorgeous.
That accent and that hair, it was so dark and thick. Oh my God!
What are we talking about again?
His hair.
Yeah, and I was cracking up too. The placement of the podiums, so you just
so you could see, because normally you can't see their legs, you can't see in between their legs. So yeah, that was purposely done. Yes, Asif was that boy is special.
Yeah, I mean,
and that accent.
All of them was good. I liked Calix showing back up again.
Yeah, Bruno is always gorgeous.
Yeah, Bruno and Bryce we see all the time, but they're gorgeous.
You're never tired of it though.
No. So and I like the diversity of the pit crew.
But I don't think we've seen before. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't remember Asif. Believe me, I would have seen. Oh God, I'd have seen that.
But yes, OT do the fan like 3 times. One for each other. Yeah,
one for each of us. Good job.
We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you throughout this short season.
All right, condones.
Don't be boring in the Snatch Game.
Yeah.
Don't be boring, period.
Yeah, there you go.
Do something. There are 5 of y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Do something and do it better.
My condone for this episode is don't be unprepared for Snatch Game. Jackie Cox said this in season 12. Like, this is something that you know is coming, right? And so every season for people, which we know we're going to hear next week, they're going to be like, I prepared, but being there is different. I got in my head, like, you can't do that and excel in Snatch Game. You just can't. So you have to be prepared to banter with Ru. You have to be prepared to talk off the cuff. You have to just be prepared.
My condone, then going back to the sugar and spice story, this is therapy corner with Kelly, is if you have the resources and you're old enough, like, don't allow people to treat you like shit. Like, get out, put up a boundary, and go find some chosen family that doesn't like stomp all over you and make you feel awful. If people are making you feel awful more than making you feel good, then they don't need to be in your life. So
I need a new banner for that.
Like, if I mean, of course, there's like, people don't have the resources, or they have to stay at home or whatever. That's different. But like, if that's not the case, like Sugar and Spice at this point, I mean, they have enough money to have their own place and like do their own thing. So like, cut those fuckers out, like, even if they're family, if they're treating you like shit, then bye. They don't deserve you.
I get that. It's so hard.
I am not saying that this is easy. I'm just saying, no one deserves to treat you like garbage, even if they are related to you.
They don't. I'm
glad they at least have each other.
I'm on your side, right? My issue here is like so many, like our circumstances, the people here on this show dictate something completely different, right? We all have had our own share of hardships and we've
Sure.
found ways to overcome them through the ability to use our resources, right? Whether they be our internal resources or the resources around us.
Sure.
So many people don't understand that they have resources. They don't have access to those resources, even those internal resources. And so like I'm outside of what I do here, right? I'm a psychologist and you like I make my money on people not understanding those things.
Yeah.
Like my job is to teach people how to rely on themselves, how to trust themselves, how to pay attention to their instincts, right? So the idea that people inherently have that, they don't.
No.
They absolutely do not.
Yeah, we do the best with the tools that we have, and a lot of people we are not well equipped. A lot of us are not well equipped, and I know I wasn't. And then you have to work for decades to build up a tool bag.
I like that you changed that in the middle.
Yeah, no,
Decade.
decades
Yeah.
to like build up a tool bag enough to start to like make changes that like are for the better.
And
And
that's
so I'm not
partly-
saying it's easy.
Yeah, that's partly because most of us growing up, queer, were very silenced in expressing ourselves.
Oh, I do not like that word.
What, queer?
Yes.
Oh, I
Okay.
do.
Yeah, it's more
yourself,
more
Grande.
representative of everyone.
It's not.
Than gay.
It's not.
Then what is?
Therein is the problem, right? We haven't settled on a word, but if you say to someone of a certain age, my age or older, queer, that word is not okay. Like, and it will never be okay. It will never be okay for me.
Why?
Because I grew up at a time where being called a queer person was so negative, and it's the equivalent of being called a nigger, right? Like it has such a harsh connotation to people my age and older, because when I was coming up, being called queer was equivalent of being called sissy, being called a faggot. It was a stripping of not only your masculinity but your entire maleness. And I understand why younger people are gravitating to that word, because they think it's this all-encompassing way to put the entire LGBTQIA plus spectrum under one umbrella. But for me, that word will never work, ever.
See, and I think of it as not necessarily defining whether I'm gay or bi or trans or whatever. It's just me like growing up as a kid, I felt like I was queer because I had no idea what my feelings were.
Yeah.
But they weren't what society was telling me it should be, so it was queer. Like faggot always felt like a racial slur to me. And I still don't really even like that word. I feel very slighted with that. Like that to me is equivalent to the N word. And even when, gay people say the word, I still feel a little offended. Just like when I hear, Black people say the N word, I still feel a little offended, but I can hear it in songs. I'm fine. Just give me a good beat. I'm good. I can deal with it. But I get that feeling. But I've always had like a more positive response to queer, especially in these past like 10, 15 years, because I feel like it's part of the journey when you don't really know exactly where you are. You just know you're not like what society is telling you should be.
Yeah, and then for me, also, my opinion about it has changed too. And I think for me now, it's because, like, I know, like, OG was like, oh, Kelly's the straight man on the cast, which is, like, hilarious and also kind of true, but also kind of not. Like, we all know that I'm not just, like, some, straight dude. Like, that doesn't fit. Gay doesn't fit, obviously. So like, so for me, all those letters, like transgender, that fits, but like for kind of all encompassing about like my sexuality or who I am or whatever, a lot of it doesn't fit. And so that's why I'm like, okay, well, I'll use that for now because I don't quite fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm just a straighty.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's a generational thing. It might be mixed in with a black thing too. Because we got black trauma from being, black
that
and
part.
gay.
Yeah. It could be.
Layers.
Yeah, it could be. It's just one of those things that I know, like for me, I hear the word and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, makes
sense. Valid.
But are we done with the show?
I think so. I don't have anything else.
Thank you as always for watching us on Condone Yourself. Please be sure to like and follow us on TikTok at Condone Yourself Podcast and on Instagram at Condone Yourself Podcast. Be sure to tune in with us next week. We'll be doing this all over again. There's still 13 queens. The show is still too short. We're still going to complain about that, and we don't care, right? So just do it.
Or we care too much.
That might be it. But can't wait to see you again next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you real soon.
I hope we get to see Asaf next week.